Okay, so another year has almost come and gone, and it has been a big year for prop firms. We've seen a lot of new prop firms come into the space, and we've also seen some bigger names close their doors, shut up shop, and leave a lot of traders stranded. So that's what this video is going to be about. And with that in mind, it does beg the question, what are the better prop firms to trade with going into 2025? I'm going to be telling you what are my top 3 picks. Now, this is just my opinion. It is not financial advice, guys, so just take it as it is. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I think are the best going into 2025, and maybe it just gives you guys some ideas of prop firms that you could potentially use. Now, who am I to give this information? Well, I've been trading for well over 8 years. I've been trading with prop firms for 3 years, and I've been funded $800,000 with prop firms, and I've seen it all. I was riding the wave when a lot has changed in the prop firm. I've actually lost a lot of accounts with the prop firms that did close. I had about $600,000 lost between my Forex funds, True Forex funds, and the funded trader. So I saw all the changes, and I was kind of in the prop firm space at that time when there was so much going on. There was a lot of changes. Rules were changing left, right, and center. A lot of times we didn't know, what was happening. And it was a tough time to trade. And I recently just started up again and $200,000 funded again with one of the prop firms I'll be talking about today. And on top of that, here at Blue Edge, we have an incredible EA and a prop farming blueprint that has helped over 1,000 of our community get funded. And it's because of this, we see a lot of data come through. We hear from our community about the prop firms they're trading with, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we kind of get all that information, which is great because it's a great way to actually get all this information about prop firms. And we also do prop firm reviews based on all this information. And this is why I feel like I can bring this to you. So with that being said, guys, let's dive straight in. And before we do start, I just want to go straight in and say that this is my personal opinion and that I do not have any affiliation with any of the prop firms I'm going to be talking about today. It's just based on exactly what I said, data that we have and this data that we're bringing to you and what I actually will be looking at trading in the new year. I did recently do a tier list on prop firms, and I'm not going to be just choosing the top 3 from that tier list in case you're wondering. But one thing I am going to do is I'm going to cross off the 2 S tier candidates because they are obvious picks, right? We've got FTMO and the 5%ers, which are obvious picks. If you are a national trader, I would definitely highly recommend both FTMO and the 5%ers. But the issue with them is they don't allow traders from the US. And I want my list today to also incorporate companies that do allow traders from the US. And in the third spot for me is going to be these guys, Goat Funded Trader. We've seen a lot of good things coming from the traders in our community. A lot more traders actually using Goat Funded. And generally we're seeing some good things. We are seeing not too many issues when it comes to payouts, and the rules are fairly good. If you look at the tier list I had before, Goat Funded, one of the issues I did have was that they had 15% 1-star. And as someone did say in the comments, you can't fully knock someone on the 1-star because a lot of them are specific to whatever's going on with that trader. Maybe at the time they are just giving 1-star. The issue is maybe solved. So the first thing I want to talk about is their price is very good. Then I've also got their rules as being good, their payouts as being good. So, the other thing I did mention is that they're reducing a lot of people to 1% risk. So I did knock them down because of that. But at the end of the day, these guys are doing a lot to make sure that they are making it so that traders are not going too crazy. They're trying to make sure that traders are managing their risk correctly. And I think that's why they're bringing that in. And I think they're only bringing that into traders that they feel are maybe kind of trading a bit riskier. But all in all, these guys, we've been seeing some really cool things from them. They are kind of always bringing in new things. One of the things I did want to talk about is they've got a huge number in payouts, $5.1 million in payouts, and they haven't even been around for that long. And the other thing is you can have up to 800K in funding, which is fantastic. And then let's have a quick look at the challenges they offer. They offer a 2-step and they offer an instant. Now the 2-step, the one we would probably be looking at the most is the GOAT, the popular one. So for 100K, it's $398. So like I said before, their price is very, very good. And this is not a special. This is what their price is, $400 for 100K challenge is very good. And like I said, they do allow traders from the US. You'd be trading on Match Trader or Trade Locker. International traders can use C-Trader, but I don't think the traders from the US can. But in general, pretty good. Target for your first phase is 8%. Your second phase is 6%. No minimum trading days. Daily drawdown is 4%. And your maximum drawdown is 10%. No time limit. It is a 1 to 50 leverage, which is not too bad. And then you can go up to 95%. Now I have done a full review on the Goat Funded Trader. So if you want to have have a look, make sure you go back and check out the review I did for these guys. But generally, we're seeing a lot of good things with the Goat Funded, and they are always kind of looking at bringing things in. You know, they're bringing a lot of stuff. They started talking about raw spread. They are kind of always kind of trying to make things easier on the trader. And if you go back and have a look at their Trustpilot review, it's a 4.1, which is not bad. It's not great. I think these guys maybe will pick up and things will get better for them in 2025. Like I said, we're seeing a lot of good things in our community. A lot of people talking quite highly of Goat Funded, but let's wait and see. I myself will be taking some challenges with Goat Funded. So let's watch the space. That's my number 3 spot. And then for me, number 2 is one that I was kind of like umming and ahhing a lot about. And the only reason being is because these guys don't actually allow traders from the US. But I thought to myself, the number 1 spot that I am going to be talking about does allow traders from the US. And I don't want to knock these guys just because they're not. So I'm going to have obviously 2 that allow from the US and these guys who don't. So with that being said, these guys did very, very well in my tier list. They were very, very close to getting the A tier. There was a few things that I did say, you know, that the reason that they didn't. So if you look at FundedNext over here, the thing I do find amazing is that they have a 4.6 Trustpilot review with 22,500 reviews. So very, very high number of people reviewing. And even with that high number, they've still got a 4.6 and only 7% being 1 star. Now, one of the things I did knock them back in the tier list for was the price being a little bit high. Kind of like, you know, that's not a great thing. But then I was thinking about it. The fact that they have so many people reviewing it means they've obviously got a lot of people still signing up, even though it is a slightly higher price. And then that got me thinking, you know, to be honest, that's not a bad thing, because all that means is their pool of capital that they will be using to pay out the traders that are actually making withdrawals is gonna be bigger because their price is slightly higher. It just means they're gonna have more money to pay out. And the companies that we saw closing actually had a smaller pool. They were struggling to pay the profitable traders, and eventually they ended up not having enough to pay the profitable traders and eventually having to close. So having a company that has such a high number of reviews clearly means that there's a lot of people taking the challenges at that price, which to me says they have a big pool, a big capital pool to kind of keep things going and keep things rolling longer term. So I think these guys are going to be around long term. Their challenges are very good. They do offer Stellar, Stellar Light, Evaluation, and Express. Now, if we just look at the evaluation for the 100K account, it is 549. Like I said, profit target is 10%, and for phase 1 and for phase 2 is 5%. So I feel like these guys are kind of modeling themselves quite closely to someone like FTMO, which again, that's not a bad thing, right? They do actually have time limits. I generally don't think it's a bad thing because I do think it's going to be harder to pass. They've still got a lot of people taking the challenges, which means, again, I go back to the business model. You know, the whole thing that makes these companies work is making sure that they have always got enough money, pay the people that are asking for money. And this is one way that they definitely can maintain the business model. So I think it's a good thing. These guys did perform very well in our tier list. And for me, I'm going to put these guys at my number 2 slot. I will be actually looking at taking a challenge with these guys in the new year as well. So yeah, that's it for me, my number 2 slot. Then the next company, my number 1 pick for going into 2025, it has to be 8 because these guys were the only other company when I did the tier list that got the A listing. And I know I said I'm not going to choose them based on the tier list, but I am using that as kind of some of the data that I've already got on these guys. And another big reason I'm going to be putting these guys there, not only have we seen incredible stuff coming from our community talking about E8, very good things talking about, you know, getting payouts. I myself have currently been funded 200,000 with E8. I've got my first payout. I think it was about just shy of $3,000, and that's after they've taken their 20%. That's my 80%. It already hit my bank account, and I'm just waiting now for my next payout from the other account, which is about $3,000 as well, and that should be hitting my account very soon. So I've had a lot of success with these guys. I'm actually using the E8, the one step, the E8 Pro, which I'm loving. Price is very good for 100K, $398. So the price is fantastic. There's a few rules you've got to make sure that you're following, but I have been following them 100%. I'm making sure that I'm on top of everything that they tell you to kind of do. And as long as you are following the rules, you know, there shouldn't be any issues. But like I said, I'm really enjoying these guys. If you go to the two-step for 100K, it's quite high. It's $700 for the two-step. But the thing is, you have full control on checkout exactly what you want from them. So let's say your balance drawdown, you go to 8%, that drops it then to 588. For most people, they'd be happy taking the 8%. You can also go down to say that I only want a 70% profit split, 60%, 50%. It drops it down further. So, you know, you have full control over all of this stuff. And I think you even have more options when you check out. So the trading conditions from my point of view, I've actually traded on this, have been very good. I haven't had any issues. There's been no slippage. Generally, the spreads are not bad at all. And like I said, our community has been talking a lot about E8 and I've seen a lot of good things. And there has been the odd situation where they are requesting an interview, but I think that's across the board now. I think most prop firms are doing more of that now, and it's something we've just got to live with. If you're a trader and they do want to interview you, you should be able to answer the questions they're asking. So it shouldn't really be a problem. And a lot of our community that have been asked for interviews, you know, have done fine and there's never been a problem. So that's my number one pick, guys. E8 is my number one pick. Now, like I have mentioned a lot about our community and our product, the EA called FundedNext, along with our prop farming blueprint. Now, you heard me talking about it before. You heard me talking about our product and our EA and our prop farming blueprint. It has got 1,000 of our community funded, and it's actually got even better now. We've brought in a hedging bot, which essentially will hedge on your own live account. So you're taking the risk, which is fine. And anything that happens on your prop firm account, it'll be doing the opposite on your live account. And all this means is that when you fail the challenge, you'll end up making your money back and more, because we actually now got to a point where we're over hedging on your live account. You'll actually make your money back and actually make profit. So for 2 challenges that I failed, I actually ended up making a profit of just over $600 using this system. So it's an incredible system that win or lose, fail or pass, you are always making money. You're always making profits, which makes this product absolutely incredible. Now, if you want some more information about this, go to www.propfarming.com, have a look at the demo video, and then you can fill in an application form and someone from our team will get hold of you and take it from there. But it is an incredible product, so make sure you go to www.propfarming.com. With that being said, guys, I do have 2 more honorable mentions just before we close up. My first honorable mention is going to be Funding Pips. These guys were very close to obviously making it on the list, but they didn't quite get there. And my second honorable mention is Instant Funding. I recently did a review on this company. They did very well. I was actually quite impressed with a lot of the stuff I saw on their site. And if you are interested, make sure you go back and watch that review. But they are definitely on my honorable mention list. So prop firms that I think you can also look at if you are looking at starting in 2025. Now, with that being said, guys, this is just my opinion and I would love to hear your opinion. So please go down to the comments below, pop down what are your top 3 prop firms that you would be trading with in 2025, because I would love to compare my top 3 to your top 3, and maybe it's going to give me some ideas for the next prop firms that I will be reviewing in 2025. With that being said, guys, I'm going to leave you there. All the best in the rest of your year. If you are trading in December, which by the way, there's a video coming out where I'm talking about trading in December, so make sure you do watch that as well. But that's it from me, guys. All the best, trade safe, and we will see you guys in the next video.